My name is Joseph Parr, and I was born here in Toledo.
My name is William Floyd Saunders.
I guess it started probably in my late 20s, early 30s. I spent a lot of times out to the bars, and of course along with that there was drinking. And then there was drugs that, also were in the picture. And things were going pretty fine. I actually got a job with the Kroger Company, was working my way up with them. It's just that the alcohol consumption and drug use got worse and worse. And as a result of that, I actually ended up losing that job. I was living under other people's roofs and making promises that I was going to do this and do that, and I didn't follow through, and so they would ask me to leave. Eventually, I had no place to go.
Life happened. I ended up losing custody of my kids and my parental rights. It's not like I didn't try to get them back, because I did. I was, going through the process of trying to do everything they asked me to do, but I was just having a problem with leaving the marijuana alone, and I didn't feel like they really had the right to dictate what I do. I wasn't, to mine, not hurting anybody. Anything to deny that I had a problem and that, it was hurting me and it was actually affecting my children. I couldn't see it then, but I see it now.
But see, the thing was, my whole way of thinking was that, I'm independent, I can do what I want, and I can still drink and use my drugs, and nobody will know. So
I go stay with friends, those so-called friends, associates. They decided they didn't have enough to feed me, We constantly arguing and fighting over this at my friend's house. Not all of them, but, more of them, and they asked me to leave. So I left and stayed in the streets that night, I do believe.
So then I was staying in my van, and I actually one time pitched a tent for a few days in a side lot, and just kept wondering what I was going to do come the following winter. But that's when I came to Winter Crisis.
So I stayed on out, and the next day I get up, because I'm not saying I'm a scaredy cat or nothing, but I just didn't feel safe sleeping outside at night. I'm up all type of night, and kind of looking around, I'm a little uncomfortable. But I seen a friend of mine, and he had seen me, and I was telling him my predicament, that I didn't really have anywhere to go, when I'm standing in these streets, and he told me about St. Paul's and how to get in here. And I called United Way and was telling them about me, and they said, well, you're in luck. St. Paul's has a vacancy, and you can go over there at 4 o'clock in the evening and do your intake. And I did. I did that, and I got in.
It was the winter, I believe, of 2013 or 14 that I came here for their Winter Crisis program. And it was, I remember it was March 19th, the very last day after an extension of their program. And I was thinking to myself, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? And Brian had told me to get on the phone first thing in the morning, which I did. And I was able to get a bunk here.
I wasn't expecting, to be treated so humanely. St. Paul's had everything that I needed. They helped me get my birth certificate and my state ID. They just lifted a great burden off me. I didn't have to worry about where I'm gonna sleep at tonight. They had rules and regulations. They stopped me from out chasing these drugs out here, because I couldn't come back to St. Paul's drunk or high. And the people was just so caring. Wake up, say good morning, give you a hug when you needed one. The support was just overwhelming, and it just lifted my spirit and helped me, get to where I needed to be. And I'll always be in St. Paul's debt,
I had this picture that, of the kind of person that went to shelters, and also had this picture in my mind that, when I came here, these people were going to try to overtake my life, try to, rule me, And I couldn't have been more wrong. I had a warm place in the winter. I had a place to take a shower, do laundry, meet people.
St. Paul's got me a spot over in a dwelling place. And it was my first place of my own in over a decade. And I was so happy. I was so happy, and the person there, the St. Paul employee there, Chris Kluter, was so inspirational to me. He said, don't just sit around here. So get out there, look for your place, look for a job, do things while you got the opportunity. And he was telling me this stuff every day, every ISP meeting. Do this, do that, and tell me places to go. They hiring, they take applications, and I would follow his direction. Because when I would follow mine, I'd just get in trouble. So I said, I'm gonna follow people that's doing the right thing, and I can copy off them, and maybe my life would get better, and it did.
You work with so many other agencies, and in conversation with my counselor here, I got hooked up with Harbor. And as a result of that, I still continue to have services with Harbor. You know, I have a psychiatrist. I got on some medication. We had to do some adjusting on that. But that's been taken care of, and I feel better about myself. Then I was hooked up with NPI housing, and I have a beautiful apartment over by Douglas and Monroe. It's in a safe area and close and convenient to all the things I need in life, and so yeah, you know, staying here and utilizing all the different resources that were made available to me has made my life, you know, tremendously better.
Thanks to Chris Kluter, he gave me the information on the Parkwood Apartments where I'm staying now. I didn't think that I would get the place because of my record. You know, I had a felony drug trafficking on my record, and I know this is low income, and normally they don't allow, you know, people with backgrounds like that to, you know, live in their facilities. So I knew that I wasn't going to get it, but still, Chris said, give it a try anyway. So I went and tried it, and I was surprised. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks later, I get a telephone call, come on down here for the interview. I go on down there for the interview, and a week later after that, they called me, well, do you have $50 so you can pay for your deposit? I didn't have $50 at the time, but I'm like, I'm gonna get this $50, you know, to get this place. And I got to calling everybody, you know, and my father, he happened to, you know, be working at the time. He had the money, he loaned it to me, and I heard that when I gave him that check, and they gave me the keys. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I had permanent housing there.
To have your own place and be able to kind of come and go as you want, have that independence, and to, you know, I mean, I've got a refrigerator, it's got food in it, I got shelves that are well stocked, I have a place to take a shower, a warm bed, a TV that I can watch what I want when I want. These are all the advantages of that, and you know, I took those for granted before I was homeless, and I don't take them for granted today.
Thank you for being here and doing what you do, and for, you know, making this establishment like this available to the people of Toledo. You know, Toledo is just so awesome how they care about its citizens. You know, I'm just so blessed to be a citizen of this community where they cared about me at my lowest to help me get back up.